This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Alright man, I'm pumped for today guys. So we're back in San Francisco and it's super nice cloudy weather outside. I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a sucker for like cloudy, cold fall vibes. And we have a really fun video to shoot today guys. So we're going to be comparing the Canon QL17 GIII, a $150 rangefinder camera, and this camera can get you some really good results. But we're going to be putting it up towards the test with a more serious rangefinder camera. This is the Leica M2 with a 35mm Summicron. But this camera cost around $2,500 complete. The price difference between the two is immense, and I want to see really if this camera can maybe compare it to what the Leica can give off in terms of like image quality and overall shooting experience, because I feel like the QL17 is a great camera to get started with rangefinders, and I just really want to see if it could hold its own against something like the Leica M2. So we're going to shoot the same film, same aperture, same shutter speed, same everything, and then we're going to compare the shooting experience as well as the image quality. Alright man, so here we go. Leica M2 versus the Canon QL17 GIII. Bow.
Now before we start shooting, let's talk about how we're going about today's challenge. Each camera will be loaded with the same film, Fuji Superia, shot at 400 ISO. We will be metering everything with the Keck's external light meter, and each photograph will be shot at the exact same aperture and shutter speed. In this test, we will be judging each camera's ability to capture and render color and overall sharpness, as well as see which one at the very end had a better shooting experience. And based on these three criteria, we will decide which one of the two performed better.
Let me fix it real quick, bro.
Damn, bro, you got some serious fucking cameras going on. You know it.
There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm under this little staircase because it's blocking the wind temporarily, but one of the things that I feel like is going to be a big factor to the way these images look is the difference in focal length. So with the QL17 on this camera, let me bring it up real quick. The QL17 actually has a 40mm lens, so it's about 5mm longer than the 35mm on my Summicron. And so I wonder how big of a difference that is. What do you think? You think it's going to be a big difference?
I think so, yeah.
5mm may not seem like a lot, but instantly when I'm going in between cameras, the 35mm just looks so much more wider than the QL17. So let's see how that contributes. We're gonna hit this last little staircase spot, and then we're gonna go find a restroom and somewhere that's a lot warmer because it's freezing out here. Okay, I'm gonna follow you. Okay. Just in case there's like a zombie up there.
So something that I found interesting was you can definitely see the difference between the 35mm and the 40mm focal length. The 40mm obviously just crops in just a tiny bit more. But another thing to note as well, I found that the Canon QL17 has a much warmer rendering. Take a look at these last two photos that we took here. The green seems a little bit more warm than it does on the Leica. So I'm not sure if this was just a situational thing here, but it definitely does give a warmer tone.
Alright, man, I gotta go find a place to use the bathroom real quick because it's cold and I drank a bunch of coffee before coming here. But really quick, man, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to our sponsor for this video, Squarespace.
Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your photography business. Now, even if you have no experience building a website, the folks over at Squarespace have you covered with award-winning templates that make it as easy as dragging and dropping. You can set up an online shop with their e-commerce feature, start that photography blog that you've been itching to create, and honestly guys, if you're serious about your photography, do yourself a favor and start your own website. So if you guys want to get started with your own website today, you guys can do so with 10% off thanks to the folks over at Squarespace. All you have to do is head over to squarespace.com/kingjapes or enter promo code kingjapes at checkout. As always guys, I'm going to leave links in the description below, but that's going to be it for now. Thank you Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
RG, so we're gonna take a quick little break. We got some hot coffee because it's stupid cold outside. We're gonna fuel up and then we're gonna head over to the next spot so we could finish off and continue the rest of this video. Excuse me. Looks like a Vienna sausage, bro. Bro, why is it that every time I eat in the car, people always be around me? Hey man, really quick, I want to do a quick little introduction. I know you guys seen the boy Gabe on the channel a lot. He's like, basically, we're god brothers. Basically, we're related, but we're not like blood related. Think of it as like, we met when we were super young. I think I was like 4, you're probably like 5 or 6.
Probably like 6.
And then, yeah, his dad and my dad are like super close friends. They play in the same band together. So we basically grew up with each other, so. Alright guys, so we just pulled up to our next spot. This is Muscle Rock Beach. I think we've already made a video here with the Pentax 6.7, but we're coming back today, man. But it's a little bit darker this time around. Still have a considerable amount of shots to go through. We only have 10 right now, so let's get out there. We still have a little bit of available light coming out here, but it's pretty much overcast right now. So let's see what we could do still with it. So I think what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna do like a sharpness test. So usually we were kind of just, you know, taking photographs of like scenes and whatnot, but we're gonna kind of see and kind of just test the sharpness between the QL17 GIII and the Leica M2. So we're gonna probably get some close-up shots here coming up soon. So on the QL17 GIII, the max aperture is f1.7. So we're gonna open up really quick and we're gonna do kind of a little bit of a bokeh test. So we'll focus here on maybe one of these signs, maybe like one of those stickers in the corner. And we're gonna shoot this wide open at 1.7, and then we're gonna match that with the Leica. But with the Leica, we're gonna be shooting at f2, so a little bit different. This is gonna definitely have a more wide aperture, but in terms of bokeh, kind of depth of field, let's see the difference between the two. Then to kind of match that same perspective, because this is a 35mm lens, We're gonna shoot f2, but we're gonna move in just a little bit closer. Will it affect it? It might, but maybe we'll just stand in the same spot. We'll see. So we did a little bokeh test. I'm not sure kind of the results. I'm expecting the Summicron to do better, especially because it's called the king of bokeh. And so we'll see, you know, with that little test. But there's a nice green kind of backdrop right here, and I want to put Gabriel in front of it, and then really just, you know, try to see not only sharpness but also the depth of field and bokeh when shot both lenses at wide open. So we'll shoot one at wide open, then we'll probably stop it down to like f5.6, which is supposed to be optimal performance for the QL17 GIII, and then we'll compare the results between the two. So let me set this camera up down here really quick, and then let's get shooting. Alright, before you guys put me on blast, man, I just want to get this out of the way. I misfocused with the Canon QL17 here. So first of all, I want to show the Leica photographs because the Leica images were nice. So here are the portraits from the Leica. As you guys can see, the eyes are sharp, they are in focus, and it looks like it's a really sharp photograph here, with a nice shallow depth of field and whatnot. On the other hand though, here are the Canon QL17 images, and as you guys can see, these photographs were blurry and whatnot, and I don't think this was the camera's fault. This was my own human error. I just misfocused completely, and shooting at a wide depth of field like 1.7, it's definitely gonna happen. So for this test, let's just blow it out of the water. Let's just say that it was a draw. Alright guys, so all in all, to kind of wrap up and conclude this comparison here, I think it's actually very close, almost too close to decide. But in all honesty here, I do think there is one camera that comes out on top with a very slight advantage, and that is the Leica M2. And for three major reasons. One, there's a lot of vignetting that goes on with the Canon QL17 GIII, especially around the top left and right corners of the frame. And also, I feel like the Leica has just a more clean and sharper look. Of course, this has to do a lot with the glass, and the glass that I'm using is a 35mm Summicron. But at the same time, man, the Canon QL17 throughout the entire shoot kept up very well. And considering the price gap and difference here, I think that you know, it's really hard to say which one you would go for, or that I could recommend at least. So I'm gonna ask you guys in the comment section down below to basically crown which one you guys think did better, based off of the three criteria we mentioned in the beginning, as well as the different price points. And then, you know, I'm curious to hear what you guys think, man. But that's gonna wrap up the entire video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, fun little comparison between a inexpensive rangefinder and a ridiculously expensive Leica. So yep, thank you guys for tuning in, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like and comment down below. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We're almost to 100K, but that's gonna wrap it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, Minolta gang.